right, so I'm going to show you how to do a texture from an image. Lots of different ways or lots of different images you could use for this process. You could get any image offline. You can get from the server. We have a couple of images uploaded. Like if you're looking on here and you go into our folder for this particular one, I'm going to say templates, hatch band poster, and there's already a crinkled paper bag. There is already a 19 images of print block textures in here. And if you don't want to use any of those, you could also go to Google. If you're going to search an image on Google, say for instance wood grain, you want to make sure in the images, you want to make sure that you do search tools, size, large, okay? That way you know that it's a nice big image. I'm just going to pick something like this. I'm going to say view image. If you do not push view image, you're pulling that thumbnail. You don't want the thumbnail. You want the actual image. So I'm going to pull that big image over here, okay? Just click and drag it. Next thing you want to do is, you actually want to zoom out so you can see what you're doing. You want to make sure that this image is in its own layer. So you can see here, I just put it in the same layer with the text. I don't want that. I want it to have its own layer. So I'm going to click down here, create new layer, and I'm going to pull that image into its own layer so it's by itself there. I'm going to lock both those other ones so I don't mess those up. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I want to live trace this. So I'm going to say it's selected. So I want to say object, image trace, and make. Okay, it's going to take some time to select this whole entire image because there's a lot of detail there. Okay, so it's going to do me something like that. Now, if you've done image trace and done like a face or something and you want more detail, you're going to go up here to preset and you're going to pick one of these settings. If you did a face, you might want to pick low or high fidelity photo. I don't need all that, so I'm just going to do 6 colors, okay? I'm going to pick 6 colors here. And it's going to think about that for a second. And it's going to narrow down all the values in this image just to 6. The next thing you're going to be doing as soon as that's done is you want to expand it, which is going to select each individual value of these 6 colors as its own selection. Okay, so we have 6 colors here now, and I'm going to say expand. There you go. So every single one of these little value scales is selected now. All right. So the next thing you want to do is you want to click off of the image for a second so that it's not selected. And I'm going to use my white arrow key, and you can see now as you go through, each individual one is selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one that I think shows the kind of detail that I want to see. And I really like this darkest color here. I think that's what I'm going to pick. So I'm going to click that dark color, which is evident in a lot of different places. And I'm going to say select, same, fill color. So it's selected all of the evidence of that, only that color. All right. And so what I want to do with those now is I want to say object, group, so that those particular ones are grouped separately. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to actually move that group off of the actual image here for a second. All right, so I'm moving that off. And all of this here that's still here, all I'm going to do with all that is I'm going to select it. And because I have the other ones locked, and I'm just going to say delete to get it to go away. So now all that's left is this. All right. they're grouped. And now what I can do is I can bring that back over onto my document, and I can use whatever I want. I can grab the corners. I can use the black arrow key. I can grab the corners of this. I can adjust it however I want and pull it so that it fits onto my poster whatever way I want it to. I'm just going to make it fit exactly for today just because I like the way that looks. Okay. Now, we have one more problem, and that is that right now it is a shade of black or gray, and we need it to be white so that it will actually print as nothing, because remember, these printers do not print the color white ink. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it and I'm going to say brown so that I can kind of see what it's going to look like as the color brown that's going to show through from the paper. And that's what I've got. All right. So now this right here is a little much for me. It's covering up my text. I don't like that. It's not working for me. So I'm going to go with my white arrow and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click it and I'm going to get rid of it. Some of it. Now the rest of it, maybe I don't want it to be on the text. I just want it to be on my background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this here. And I'm going to pull my text layer on top of the wood grain layer. So now it's not affecting my text, okay? And so then there you have it. Now I have a texture